Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to Stock Market Update video. And as promised, I'll be doing one today. So this is midweek Stock Market Update video. And a bit late today, has a lot to do, but let's take a look at NQ. NQ, which is the futures chart for NASDAQ, because QQQ doesn't trade after 5 p.m. The chart doesn't move anymore. And with NQ chart, it trades 23 hours, so you can still see the movements. And we'll be looking at NQ as well as Tesla, Meta, Amazon, Google, Microsoft, Apple, and Nvidia. Looking at their levels to give us more clues if the Qs are going to bounce tomorrow or potential we might get a little bit more pullback or not. So first thing, let's take a look. So we had this 4-hour falling wedge we've been looking at, and you can see resistance, support, bounce, rejection, bounce, rejection, and we had a bear break today. So that means this falling wedge broke bear today, and it broke bear before Nvidia reported its earnings. And after that, let's see, did it break bear? It did break bear before Nvidia's earnings, right? Yeah. And after that, with the earnings, it went lower. So you can see we broke that in the morning. Back test, couldn't get over back above, reject. Back test again, twice, couldn't get over back above that falling wedge. And now we're at the next level of support, where we are currently bouncing. So we pretty much hit 4-hour oversold on the RSI, and that's where it marked pretty much the low, as well as this current structure here acted as support. So that's pretty much a first 4-hour oversold since this weekly low that we marked. You can see back here was the first 4-hour oversold, and we made a new high. So now this one, we did slightly get to it when we're at the bottom of this wick, but right now we're not there anymore because we bounced. So if I were to say tomorrow, this level needs to hold. Support, support, support. So this needs to hold. And then I want to see this 4-hour bounce continue higher. At least back test this falling wedge prior support. Now it's going to act as resistance. That's the first resistance I'll be looking at. Actually, I'll be looking at this 1937, which is this level. Rejection, rejection. And if we can get over that 1937, then I'm looking at this falling wedge resistance, prior support, right? Bounce, bounce, bounce. Now acting as resistance. So if we can get over that tomorrow, then I'm looking at closer to top of the rising wedge. Falling wedge, to see if we can get over that. And if we magically can get over that tomorrow, who knows, right? Then we're looking at a lot more resistance here. You can see this volume here, right? This volume was from here and here and here. So that these levels between 195 and 1965, this level is going to act as quite strong resistance. So get over here, right? And then we're looking at here, and we're looking at the here falling wedge. And then if we can get over here, then I'm looking at closer to around this level. Those are the 3 levels I'm looking at on the upside. And on the bears, right? Break this low, right? Show me this support breaking, and this 4-hour oversold isn't marking the bottom of this drop. That will mean quite significant if that happens. So bears, right? Break this low and continuation. We'll be looking at closer to this probably around 1900 psychologically and 1947, which is marking this low and this low. If we do break this current 4-hour lows candle. So those are the 2 sides I'm looking at, and we'll see what tomorrow brings. So tomorrow is more key for me for Nvidia in terms of after-hour price action, because during market hours there is a ton more volume than the after-hours action. So tomorrow is going to be key. Whether Nvidia bounces or not, or continuation downside, it's going to be showing what the big monies are doing. So keep watch for the market hours, and we will get a better idea of the market direction tomorrow. If this starts to V-shape and break above here, then we might have more upside coming. So yeah, be agile tomorrow and Friday, and we'll get soon we'll get some kind of market direction. Right now it's still very choppy, right? Last couple of week and a half has been very choppy. So when the market is very choppy, we don't really have an edge. And once the market resolves itself, then we have a better edge where we can play with the trend. Otherwise, just get chopped up. All right, look at Tesla here. Talked about this over the weekend, saying, right, Q started to pull back. Can Tesla withstand it as well? And so far, it can't really, which makes sense, right? It's not like it's a strong stock like Apple, where it's able to withstand the Qs pulling back. And let's see here. So it's making that weekly lower high now. Go to the weekly chart, right? Wherever you guys see it. There we go. Big enough bounce. Huge drop, right? Bounce does not make a new high. So that's a weekly lower high. And we pulled back from it. So question now is, can Tesla bulls hold more so a tightening range? Where it would just form something like that. Or is it going to mark the weekly downtrend? If this marks the weekly downtrend here, we're looking down at probably close to 172 if that happens. Weekly downtrend means that it needs to break the prior weekly low. So if that happens, then that's going to be pretty big downside. Market also need to pull back quite a bit for that to happen. So if market bounces, I don't expect us to break this weekly low. But it's currently shaping up a lot weaker than the other stocks on the weekly time frame. Daily chart, same thing. No signs of bounce yet. You can see Qs were green a couple days, and Tesla couldn't make the green either. So it's relatively weaker currently market, but we do have some support here, right? This wall of resistance right there around 200 is currently probably going to act as support. So if we do bounce from here, then we might get that tightening range that I'm talking about, where it just tightens up, right? Overall, and we'll see from there. But yeah. TradingView likes to move my lines all the time. But anyways, you guys get the idea, which is this tiny range. So we'll see if bulls show up soon tomorrow for the Qs. All right, let's take that to Meta. So Meta, similar idea, pretty weak today, but it's relative strength compared to overall market because from the top of this move, bottom move to the top of move, this is still a bull flag, right? We only retrace like what this move down is 35% of this entire move up. So still call this a bull flag. No huge red flags as of yet. You see volume starts to pick up around this, pretty much around this area, around this 510. So we're pretty close to it already. I think we are there after hours. Let's see. 512. Yeah, pretty close. So pretty much if Q's bounce tomorrow, Meta will likely bounce from here as well because we're getting close to that support zone around that 510, 512 level. Yeah, just got too far over, so close to it as well. But we'll see. You see, the last time we got to 4 hours or so was the same thing with Qs, where it was this this heavy selling area. All right, let's look at Amazon. Pretty weak as well. We're coming up to same idea. You can see this wall of resistance, right, where we initially bounced that day, is going to act as support now. Same idea. 4 hour oversold after this first 4 hour oversold. So bulls need to pretty much show up tomorrow. That's the case. Pretty much. If we don't show up tomorrow, we're likely going to form some kind of a big equilibrium. And if we don't bounce from that equilibrium, we're going to form a lower low. Then that's a huge market shift in terms of the overall market. But if we do bounce tomorrow, bulls are okay overall in the market and in terms of these big techs as well. So 4 hour EMA 12 got BX resistance. This tail looking line, right? Rejection, rejection, right? Support, 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 support. Below it, rejection, 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 rejection. Still rejecting. So tomorrow, if we do bounce, let's see if it rejects it or not. If it gets over it, that's going to be it's going to help Qs go higher if we can get through that. If it rejects from it again, come back down, right? Then we may come down to closer to this 167 zone, which is this wall of support. And let's look at Google. Surprisingly, it didn't go that low. So, I mean, it didn't bounce that much. So it's not really is the weakest one, I would say. But given how weak it was here, it's starting to pick up, starting to become okay in this area, but still not as good of a chart. We're coming down to, we're already middle of the structure already, right? Pretty much needs to bounce right here, 161. Otherwise, we're coming down closer to this 160 zone, where we bounce a couple times here. Bounce, 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 bounce. So yeah, so we don't hold here tomorrow. We're looking at 160. Pretty much this is the spot that bulls need to bounce as well. So all these mega cap techs are pretty much at the spot where bulls needs to bounce. Otherwise, it's going to shape out a lot more downside. So I personally think we might bounce tomorrow, but how much we bounce is, it's the markets. Markets will do what markets can do. But in my short-term opinion, the market is going to bounce at least maybe to the, let's see, where's my NQ? At least closer to like 1937, 1970s. Yeah, 0.5% bounce at least, and then we'll see where it shapes up, right? If it tests here, and we get some kind of consolidation sideways here, maybe like a little bit of a bull flag on the hourly, and then we head higher, then maybe we have more chance to head higher and break back through this falling wedge, but one step at a time. So Microsoft here as well, pretty much coming back to this exact same structure, right? Where we had that low mark on the weekly low, resistance, 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 support, right? You can see this volume node right here. This is the volume. This is pretty much what it traded in all these areas. And you can see very clear resistance, right? And now we're back testing it. So now it's acting as support for now, at least initially. You can see that lower wick we had right there, that initial bounce. Doesn't mean we're going to hold this level for sure, but it doesn't make sense that we initially bounce because of prior resistance. Now I can support because price is above it, came to it. So for your bears, break this level, then we're looking back closer to potentially this 400 zone to this 403 zone. Is going to be my first. If we break today's low, if we continue to bounce, then I'm looking at closer to, if we bounce, I'm looking at closer to 412. We can get a strong bounce tomorrow. Yeah, 412. It's going to be a level I'm looking at. All right, let's take a look at Apple. Still holding pretty darn well. That's the strongest stock in the market at this moment. Big drop in the market, goes down 0.68%. And after hour, just a slightly more. So nothing to really report here for Apple. As long as it holds above this support zone, right, which is at this 224 mark. And it's pretty normal. It's pretty easy to follow where it's going to be. And we have a slight megaphone look, right? Higher, higher, no fall through, higher, high, no fall through, higher, high, no fall through, higher, high, no fall through. So it's a little bit of like a megaphone potentially shaping up. Lower, low, no fall through, lower, low, no fall through, lower, low, no fall through. So Apple's going to trade within this range. Actually, pretty clear. So as long as it's trading in this range, we'll continue to keep an eye watch until we get some kind of a bear break. At least break below. We break below here, looking back closer to the 221, which is this structure. If it breaks below that, then it'll go a little bit lower. And if we break above, I'm just looking at this higher high resistance. So far, lacking follow through. So that's about 2% away. So that's a lot of room away. So I could totally see the Qs bounce tomorrow if all these mega cap just even get a slight bounce, like 1% bounce. So we have a green day tomorrow. Actually, even if we bounce, no, we're red after hours for 1.2%. So we might not get a green day tomorrow, but we can get a bounce from tomorrow if we start. And Nvidia just hits its 116 support and a tiny bounce. That's it. So we'll see. Let's see if it bounces overnight. Right? You can see 116 was so clear. Resistance, support, support, support. Price came below it. Hit resistance, resistance, resistance 3 times. Again as well over here. Price came here, bounce active support, and came below it again. So we are still in that big range or tiny range, right? Big go down, big go up, big go down. Let's see if it can bounce from here pretty much at the spot, holds 116, and then head a little bit higher. And if we bounce from there, then I'm looking at closer to this 121 level or resistance coming up. If you can break 120, then I'm looking closer to this 123 zone. You can break 120. And for your bears, break this 116, come down closer to this range, and break 114. Then we'll be closer to looking at this 107. You guys can break 114. But similar idea, the 4-hour oversold on this first hour oversold after this weekly low and set. So yeah, if I were to be a bear, I will wait for at least a slight bounce first. And if I was a bull, I would play that slight bounce and then look to see if we get more follow through. So it's definitely up in the air right now. It's been a very indecisive week, very choppy, and market's just deciding which way it wants to go still. So both sides at this level, risk reward is tough. So just set a stop loss, whichever side you decide to play, get a stop loss. And if you set that stop loss at the level where you think if you get stopped out, then your thesis is incorrect. Doesn't mean you just set like a stop loss like 0.5% away from you or something, or 0.02% and you get stopped out and you're wrong or something. Not like that. It's like a clear level you can play off of, clear support or clear resistance level you can play off of. And when you get stopped out of that level, your thesis is wrong. Right? For example, if I put my stop loss at the low of this candle and I'm playing for that bounce, right? And I want a bigger move. And I'm already in currently, let's say. And so we bounce and then drop and then it goes a little bit higher. And I raise my stop loss here at the pivot because I want a higher move. So originally my stop loss here and then I bring it up here. Let's say it goes higher and next thing that we flush, right? Then I'm out because my thesis is wrong because we just broke this prior pivot low. We may probably get a little bit more downside. Something like that, or even just getting here, set stop loss here, right? And we bounce and then we flush. Then my thesis is wrong as well. So same thing if you're a bear, right? Let's say you just wanted to short a oversold 4-hour for some reason after such a move, right? So you get in here and then we crawl a bit lower, like, yeah, it's going my way, and then we bounce and then it's still okay, right? You can set your stop loss maybe somewhere about here. And then we head up lower and then say just kidding. And then we let's say we bear flag here, right? And negated that, and then we head higher, right? And then you get stopped out. Your thesis is wrong here. So similar idea. So just make sure to set your stop loss. And I'll see you guys over the weekend for more stock market and commodities update. So check that out on Saturday and Sunday. And have a great rest of you guys' week. And set your stop loss. And if you're to support the channel at the Patreon link on YouTube, as well as free Discord link for the come join the chat room, just talk, hang out, and have a great rest of you guys' week. Make sure to set your stop losses.